How can you easily get material selection mask, object selection mask, and depth mask, along with object selections on different layers right out of a 3D renderer? You can set up different render passes, but Adobe Substance 3D Stager allows you to save your render as a multi-layered Photoshop file. What does that mean? That means that you can select the different objects in your Photoshop file by using material selection pass or even object selection passes. For example, here I have all these objects that have a different mask around them. It's kind of multicolored and looks pretty cool. The nice thing is if I select the magic wand tool and I'm on that layer, I can easily make perfect selection, go to the rendered image layer, turn off the additional layers, and then make any adjustments. So I can add an adjustment layer, say it curves, make sure I clip it to that layer by pressing Alt+Ctrl+G. Then I can adjust this and notice it only adjusts that section, which is really great because I don't have to select it or accidentally get some of the building. I know I'm just getting that layer and that object. For a simple render like this, it's pretty easy to deal with, but sometimes there's many more complex features that you want to be able to select easily. Remember that I can turn off the rendered content and I get a denoised content as well as a rendered image that still has all the noise in case I want to do my own denoising. In addition, you get a depth map, which is good for doing depth of field or atmospheric perspective adjustments. Photoshop also is able to create depth maps with its neural filters, but this is for the render itself. Let's take a look at some other versions. Here I have a render that was made and it also has all of these same features. So here I have the material and object selection mask. Notice these are different. So this is the object selection mask and this is the material selection mask. Then I also have the depth mask. Pay close attention to the size of this image. If I look at this image here, it is a large image because I chose to render at the scale and aspect ratio of the original image. Whereas this image is only 1920 by 1280. It's a fine image and for sharing on social media might be great, but you could be disappointed if you don't make sure you render a higher resolution image. This one here is also 1920 by 1080. So make sure you pay attention to that when you are rendering your images. But again, once I'm in Photoshop after Adobe Substance 3D Stager, I get all these additional layers that I can use to create and post-process my image. So hopefully you are able to use Photoshop and Adobe 3D Stager to post-process renders and do quick photo composite mockups and 3D renders of all kinds of different projects. Happy 3D modeling!